This is going to be hilarious. So exploits that have been in the game before are back. You can dupe literally any item in the game. You could dupe commodities. You could dupe weapons. You could dupe ship weapons. There are endless dupes in this. Money, probably. There's endless dupes in this game right now. We have redone the economy for basically no reason. A YouTuber that I respected has posted 3 YouTube videos sharing dupes on their YouTube channel in the last 24 hours. So now it's getting out more and more and more and more and more. You could be on two sides of the fence here, I think, and both would be correct. One would be you should not report dupes like out in the open too much, and you should put them on the issue council report. CIG will confirm them and then take them down and hide those dupes. You would be the correct person in that case, I think, the more correct person at least. Then there is the option to share it with the world and be as loud as possible. It's an alpha. None of it matters right now, and CIG will fix it. Now, we've already had these exploits before. CIG did not permanently fix them. They're back. So we're going to read some threads of absolute hilarity of people who are coping so hard that they think that this exploit is a feature. It's amazing. I'm sorry that you're going to see people's names. Don't be mean to them. They're just ignorant, okay? But we're going to laugh at them a little bit here, and if they can't take it, I don't know what to tell you. This is weapon insurance, new bug or feature. At CIG, please confirm. Kind of a legitimate question to start out with, right? I've seen many videos circulating. It's literally one person, which involves loading weapons into a gun rack on board your ship. Oh, let's just share the whole thing. Cool. Before we face a possible sweeping community wipe or ban, I want to confirm, is this indeed a feature? Additionally, if this is intended, this is the best feature you've implemented in all of 2024. Here's the problem with this. These videos that are being posted are calling this item insurance. This is not item insurance. Okay? And the reason they consider it item insurance is if you put a weapon on a gun rack in your ship and do some finagling, I actually don't even know how it works. What I do know is that you will pay for that weapon. So when you repair your ship or whatever, or claim it or something like that, they do add the extra payment onto the fee during the dupe. The problem with this is that you could do this with more than just FPS weapons that you can buy in the store. If it was only buying them in the store, that would not be that big of an issue. To me, at least. Because you're skipping the stupid running all over the place that CIG wants you to do. Okay, fine. You're paying the same price. It's whatever. What the issue is that you can find railguns in like bunkers and stuff. They're really rare, hard to find. But railguns or grenade launchers, things like that, are common at the end of the contested zone loop. There's like 5 of them there. You can't buy these in shops, but if you put them on a gun rack and do whatever you do, you pay for that railgun, which is not the value of what a player would sell it to you for. And again, I'm biased here. It's something I like to do in the game, but I don't care about any of that. Whatever happens in the alpha doesn't matter. You guys want to skip some grinding or playing the game or whatever, it's your loss. That's your loss. You're losing what I would consider fun. Okay? But because it doesn't matter, right? Skip all the stupid stuff that CIG puts in that they're eventually going to take out anyway because they're going to finally realize that it's stupid. Fine. But here's where I take issue with this. Contested zone keys. Items that aren't on the web store or aren't on the store. Items that are on the store, but the web store. things that, well, I don't really care about the web store. Dupe away. I'm like, right? But you can dupe everything. So you are undermining complete gameplay loops that are in the game, not ones that I'm trying to do or anything. Complete. No, they can be copied. So, yeah, don't worry. They can be copied. And maybe that person doesn't know, but they could be copied. There's more than one dupe, and there's tons of exploits. So they could be copied, and it's not good. And this is not okay, right? So anybody who is calling this a feature is coping, right? It should be a feature. I feel like just everything I'm seeing here, this has got to be a troll, but it's getting upvotes and things like that. Not many, but yeah, that's one. Okay. Next one. Weapon insurance. Fantastic solution. I saw that the devs had reintroduced the old weapon duplication exploit, but made it chargeable. Genius. I hated that I never used my weapon racks and left ship interiors bare, but the thought of having to restock everything if I got destroyed justified leaving them empty. Now I know there's going to be an extra cost, but I know I could spend more time playing and less time stock taking. And you know what? He's proving a point that the issue isn't the issue is that you're getting items that you shouldn't be allowed to restock, right? But what this OP is saying is nobody stocks their ship because if it blows up, it's gone. But the issue isn't that if it blows up, it's gone. The issue is that it is entirely too much of a pain in the ass to stock your ship with these things. If CIG took the friction away of doing that, would the OP feel the way that he does? If it was a very simple menu, a very easy thing to interact with, it probably wouldn't be as big of an issue for this person, and they would always stock their ship, right? That's the other thing. Now let's read what other people are saying. Agreed, I can now finally stock my ships and not just keep everything in boxes at space stations. Hopefully it was intended and not a bug. Again, it is 100% a bug. It is 100% an exploit for the reasons I stated above. You are not only restocking ships or items that you were able to restock, you are restocking items that you should not be able to restock. That's the problem, right? But again, it should be like this system should exist if the station supplies those goods, or if they are in your own inventory. Then I'm all for this. Does anyone have an issue with that? If you are let's be real here. If you are pressing a button claiming your ship and your ship just magically appears in the station, which we're all used to having happen, would anybody have an issue if it also restocked your ship with items that are purchasable at said station or in your inventory at said station? I don't think anybody would have an issue with creating a loadout for your ship and your ship coming back with those things if those things are available, right? So, weapon insurance, fantastic solution. There are better ways of doing this than the way it currently works, and I agree with everybody that this is better than what we have, but the fact that you could dupe a railgun is insane. The fact that you could dupe maze and items like that is insane. It's not okay. You could dupe armor. Not okay, right? All of these things are a problem, and it's 100% an exploit. Now, before we go to the last thread, do you feel in an alpha that people should be banned for these things? I don't know, right? Do you think that the creator that I mentioned should be kicked out of any Star Citizen program, so the CIG community should never talk to him again? He's the worst person ever. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think any of this shit should be a thing because it's highlighting, hopefully, to the developers that their game fucking sucks and it's really annoying to play. And the reason people are doing these things is because of the design choices that you made, right? And they're highlighting problems and showing them the solutions. So there's that. I don't think anybody should really get in trouble for this stuff. I think that's crazy. Do I think people should get a warning for exploiting? Yes. Do I think obvious gold farmers and people who might be selling this stuff for real money should get banned? And like, yes. Yes. But there's a little bit of a gray area here. The game doesn't exist. The game's not fun. And yeah, people are trying to get around a lot of the bullshit that CIG makes you do. Is that really that big of a problem? No. But again, calling it weapon insurance is insane. So on to the next one. Item insurance. Hi, devs. At the moment, it seems that item insurance via ship weapon rack is back. Just wanted to know if this is on purpose or an exploit, which could get me in trouble. Personally, since you do pay to get the items back, this is the cope. Since you do pay to get the items back, but you can pay for a railgun, and you should not be able to buy those because they're not in stock at the station that you're getting them from. I think is a good placeholder until the official way of getting pledge items comes into the game. I bought so many pledge items, and it's so frustrating not be able to use them because of the risk of losing them without any way of getting them back, especially if you lose them to bugs. Hope to hear from you. They won't. They won't be replying, most likely. But, again, it really comes down to people being afraid. A railgun's $25K if you buy it. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Because guess what? A railgun is farming 15 bunkers and hoping to get lucky. A railgun is going to the end of the contested zones and battling PvEVP situations. That's what a railgun is. Like, the idea that people will do anything to not play the game is crazy to me. If we're talking about people who are just trying to put P4 ARs on their gun rack, I don't got a problem with that. Tractor beams, right? Things like that. I don't got a problem with that. But because you can go further than this and spend $25K on a railgun instead of playing the game, that's where I start to have problems, right? That's where I start to have problems. It's not, again, I think the solution that I came up with is the best. The idea that this works in this way is not a bad thing. But the idea that it works in a way that allows you to get around playing the game is the problem, right? And it shouldn't be limited to store purchasable items. It shouldn't be limited. Again, the whole you're going to get your items back when you die thing is going to kill the game, I think, in a lot of ways. It should be a little bit of a loop to get through if those items are not available freely, right? So if I lose a subscriber item, they did say we would be able to craft it. I kind of like the idea of that, and hopefully that subscriber item maybe requires something a little special to be able to craft that item, because it is a special item. So those might be harder to come by, might be a little bit expensive, but you'll stock up on them, and you'll be able to always get back your, I don't know, the very bright yellow big puffy suit, let's say. That's one of my favorite suits. I think it's called Sunburst. I'm okay with having to spend a little time or spend a little money in game getting, I don't know, maybe Janolite is required to make that or something, right? And then go for that. There has to be some level of risk, but losing it forever is what people don't want, right? And that's the problem that we currently have. You have to listen to the underlying issues that people have with the game. It is not black and white, right? So it is not, I am exploiting, I'm just trying to skip the game altogether. It is, I am saying that there are these obvious design choices that CIG are making that aren't fun, and I'm able to get around those choices by doing these things. So if I'm able to dupe my Sunburst armor and have 15 of them, I will use my Sunburst armor all the time, right? Because I'm able to get them. But what is really happening there is the player saying, I purchased Sunburst armor on the website. Give me the ability to get more of them. But they're not necessarily saying, I spent money on the website, give it to me for free and give it to me instantly, right? And that's sort of the thing that we're hearing from here. Like, people are happy to having to pay for those things. But I think people would be happy if they only got things back that are able to be purchased at that station at the location that you're at, or once again in your inventory. So then you could play the game, stock up on those things at your home location. Let's use Checkmate and Ruin, for example. Say your home is at Ruin, but there are I don't know, Sunburst armors at Checkmate. Well, then I'll go buy 15 Sunburst armors at Checkmate. I'll bring them to Ruin, and then my ship in my armor locker will always have Sunburst in it until I run out of those 15, and then I'll have to do it again, right? So it's friction, but it is a lower value of the sandpaper that CIG is rubbing on us right now, right? Because it's incredibly like frictionful, the game. And that's all. I'd love to see that change just a little bit. And again, I am not arguing that this is a bad thing. I'm arguing, like, from a design standpoint, it's actually quite nice. But there's some tweaks that could be made here, that this would be a useful system that people would love, and that it would just generally make the game better. Lower values of sandpaper means more friction. All right, smarty pants. I think you know what the point that I'm trying to make, right? Which is why you said that. But the idea here is, let's make the game more fun, and the current experience is not fun for the reasons that people are stating. Now, again, item insurance. You're literally duping in an MMO. If this was a live game, you would be banned. You should be banned. Okay? But it is an alpha, and I think this should be out there, and everyone should see it, and because last question before we end the video. Because this is happening, should there be a wipe? I don't believe so. But the reason I don't believe, I'm always for a wipe. I'm always for a wipe. But I know that many people are not doing this, and they're playing the game. So they have wiped specific players in the past, but not enough specific players. We'll see what happens. But in my opinion, 4.0 is so far from the game that I don't really care. I do feel that within the next 6 months to a year, there absolutely needs to be a wipe again, because I feel like things will probably change pretty drastically. But do we need it right now? I think you're affecting too many players negatively for the few that are being total pieces of shit. So, no, I don't believe so. But I'm always for a wipe, because I do like starting fresh, and it just feels good and it's fun. In a game that isn't a game yet, it feels like a game always at the beginning, because you have no money. You can't just go to the shop and buy anything. My favorite thing was seeing, I love to watch people mine on YouTube in Star Citizen, and my favorite part was their first mining run. They didn't have enough money to do the refinery job. So they had to sell their first load of ore as raw ore to get enough money to do a mining job. I found that to be so cool. So the idea of, just the feeling of progression, the feeling of gathering things and stuff like that was very cool at the beginning. But I think that it just would affect way too many people negatively to put us back in that situation so quickly. And yeah. Duping did not ruin the grind. You can still grind. You can earn $1 million every couple hours by doing bounties. Pyro, really, who cares if someone has 1 billion credits before me? The reason why is you don't care. But a lot of people play MMOs, especially ones in the situation that we're in, where we kind of all started at the same time, is you don't like to watch, like, when other people cheat, it ruins the value of the reward for the people who are playing, especially if we're going to be a more player-run economy, right? So right now, it doesn't mean anything, but in the future, it can have a huge effect on player motivation to play the game. It can have a huge effect on the economy and all these other things. So do not be selfish and only think of yourself in this situation. I'm not being, because I would totally go for a wipe and do the whole grind again if I was being selfish. But right now, yeah, it doesn't matter, right? It really doesn't. And the most important thing is getting the game fun, playable, working well, and all these other things. But I will also say this. As a YouTuber, you should probably not be making 30 videos on exploits and things like that. I know I'm making one now because it's already out there. And it's just really funny to laugh at people calling this item insurance. So keep coping, Star Citizen community. You are exploiting, and you are posting exploits publicly on forums in a game that's meant to be an MMO. And I think CIG really needs to teach people that this behavior probably isn't the way to do things, and what they want their behavior to actually be, which would be use the issue council report. And yeah, we'll see. Getting harsh on other creators is wild. In what way? This I had no plans on talking to chat. I would love to hear what this is about. I'm also getting this is a bad take. So sharing exploits on the issue council and not making YouTube videos about them, showing everybody exactly how to exploit, is a bad take. In what world are we living in? What world are we living in? Where is this a bad take? Right? Sharing exploits on YouTube is insane. Anyone who does that needs to be banned. No. You just say, hey, dude, it's probably not a good idea. You shouldn't do that. If you find an exploit, you should share it with the devs. This is common practice in every video game ever. You share it with the devs. Once it is a known exploit, which it is now, anybody who continues to use that exploit gets banned from those games. That's always how it's been. Hello? Yeah. I have no idea. I have no idea how we can argue anything else. That's where I'll leave it, though. Want to hear what you guys think. And, yeah. Item insurance, by the way. Insane.